Hello, in this video we are going to be talking about the spirituality, and I'm going to give you my opinion, or maybe I will ask you if you think that being joyful or being happy in life is more important than knowing yourself. Some people may say that it is the same thing, that once you know yourself, you are automatically joyful, or once you are joyful, you automatically know yourself, and maybe it is true, but in my opinion, these two things may be two separated things. One little disclaimer, I am not someone who is claiming anything or who is telling you what is the truth. This is just my opinion. There are so many things that I don't know, so I just have my opinions, and these opinions may change. So yeah, if I would have if I could choose one of these things, whether being happy in life, being joyful, or knowing myself to the point that I know that I am the soul, I know that consciousness is beyond the brain, and so on, I would probably go with being joyful. And maybe that's why when you have some of these spiritual gurus like Osho, for example, or right now you have Sadhguru, both of them say, or Osho said, that they don't have any question left. And when I was watching this kind of videos, I was, kind of not disappointed, but I didn't agree with them. Because I was like, you may be enlightened or anything, but you still do not know if there are aliens, you still do not know how universe started, you still do not know, these things about the quantum physics and things of this nature. And yeah. So I don't think that when you are joyful in life, which in my opinion is more important, that you automatically know everything, because I think that you don't. But I think that these questions become a little bit not relevant. If you are joyful, then, if we are going to find aliens, it's fine. If not, it's also fine. And, so yeah. On the contrary, in my opinion, you may, know a lot of things externally and a lot of things internally. So, for example, you may study physics, you may study biology, evolution, and have like a bigger picture about the science, what we know. Or you may be someone who is meditating, who can get to this, present moment, or to this deep state of meditation. But I don't know if, it automatically would mean that you are also joyful. Because from my perspective, meditation may bring you more things. It may bring you peace, it may bring you joyfulness, or it may bring you, some kind of realization of who you are. I don't know who I am, in a sense that am I consciousness which is beyond the brain, or is brain generated consciousness and there is nothing when we die? Are there incarnations? Are there not? Is there karma? I don't know. And maybe, through meditation or through some techniques, through some psychedelics, through anything, you maybe, I don't know because I don't have this in my experience, get to the realization that you are this consciousness, that you are not the brain, Because there are, in my opinion, two options. One option is that, there is nothing, we are not consciousness beyond the brain. In that case, you cannot know that you are consciousness beyond the brain because you are not. But if we actually are, more than just a brain, if we actually are, this kind of spiritual being having a human experience, then I think it is possible that you can realize this. If it's the case that you are more than just the brain, I don't see a reason why some people shouldn't be able to realize that. Okay? I am not joyful in my life. We all have ups and downs, and sometimes we have more downs. And I also do not know myself in this sense. But I would maybe differentiate these two things, because I think that you may be happy in life, you may be joyful, you may be living your best life, you may be willing to help, you may have your purpose, anything, and still you might not know if you are a soul. I think that it's it's pretty normal to be happy, enjoying life, and so on, but still be like, I am not really sure if there is more than just the brain. It seems like there is, but I don't know this for 100%, Or maybe there may be someone who is spiritually maybe enlightened or spiritually, advanced, and that person may realize who he is or who she is to the point that he or she knows that that we are more than just the brain, and the person may know this for 100%, like a real realization, but that kind of realization doesn't automatically means that you are going to be joyful. If, for example, science would tomorrow tell us that we are more than just the brain, if they would find some kind of, evidence, whether it would be through these near-death experiences or some quantum physics or something, if science would, change the mind or find some evidence for 100% that when we die, the consciousness doesn't, stop, but is going to continue, would this make you automatically joyful? I probably wouldn't be that joyful, because knowing that I am infinite soul, I can still be miserable and know that I am infinite soul, and knowing that I am going to be miserable for infinity, But also, it may be like two different things, knowing who you are, truly who you are, through experience, through meditation, through realization, versus knowing who you are based on what science is going to tell you, because if science is going to tell you that you are soul, but you don't have this in your experience, then, it's like, okay, you may trust them because they have evidence, but it's not in your experience, so it's not that deep. But even if it would be in your experience, that you know who you are, it may still not automatically mean that you are joyful. So yeah, the best combo would be probably to be joyful, to be happy in life, to know through experience and realization who you are, and also know through scientific evidence everything about the universe, it would be the best combo. But if I would have to put them in some kind of order, probably, this depends. I am talking about, what I would choose. If I would have to choose one, I would go with the joyful, The second I would go with knowing through experience, and the last I would go with science, because you may had 2000 years ago, 5000 years ago, someone who was maybe enlightened, someone who was joyful or someone who knew that he is a soul, but that person may still, thought that Earth is flat, that the sun is rotating around the around the Earth, that stars are, just some little dots that we do not know what they are. That person might not know that there are galaxies or, things of this nature. I am not saying that those ancient people, they didn't know anything. They probably knew few things or many things, but they didn't know universe in the complexity, So you may be, enlightened or, know who you are, but still do not know universe in a scientific way, But yeah, I am not going to repeat myself. I, said what I think, my message, and yeah. So yeah, I would choose to be joyful, and I think that, when you are really happy, I am not, so I do not know this exactly, other questions might lose the relevance, and maybe that's why some of these spiritual masters, they say they don't have any questions, which, I, even if I would be joyful, I would still want to know if there are aliens. I would still want to know if there is an afterlife. I would still want to know if there is a multiverse, how universe started, is there infinity or anything. But, if I would know everything, but I would be not happy, what would be the point? What would it be the point to know everything if you don't enjoy the life? So yeah, this was just my opinion. You may write me down in the comments what you would choose, if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, or anything. So yeah, enjoy your day. Thank you very much, and goodbye.